Hello, 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 and welcome, my Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your Twin Flame read for February into March 2020. I am your reader, Mark Angelo, Lyons, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of DrawingTheCircle Productions, and very happy to be kicking off this Twin Flame series with you. If you're new to the channel, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave comments. Let's have a field day, because I just recently passed 1,000 subscribers, and I'm very happy, and I'm waiting to get approved for monetization so I can do super live chat and all that cool stuff. Yeah, come along for the ride. I'm having a lot of fun on this journey, and I actually did a big thank you video for my subscribers. That's, I think, the first link in the box, description box below under the description of what this video is about. So go have a look. I'm so truly thankful, like tears of joy and gratitude, once I figured out it had happened on my laptop. I was like, oh my god, it was such a moving thing. Anyway, moving along. Let's get down to business with this read. This is a general read, all right? So please take what resonates, leave what does not, check your other signs, all right? We're only doing, I think, 17 cards in this spread. So, not gigantic, but, these could easily take close to an hour. So I'm going to keep them fun, keep them entertaining, keep them educational, because I am a spiritual teacher as well as a reader. I've been doing both for a very long time. So I let the gods and my pantheons do the work. You sit back, relax, and enjoy yourself. Keeping in mind, however, this is a twin flame contract read. A twin flame contract is different than a soulmate contract. Go watch your soulmates. Those are really good. Our twin flame and soulmate contracts, we have many of them throughout our lives on the path of true love, which is your own individual healing path. That's why I do those reads as well. The foundation of a twin flame contract is that you teach each other how to heal yourselves, how to love yourselves, how to set boundaries for yourselves, because they are turbulent, transformative soul contracts, right? By contract, the other person in the contract cannot give you what you want, they give you what you need, which is not usually what you want, right? We all have to learn how to love ourselves, and it's these contracts that do it. Nor are they always romantic sexual. My father and I were a twin flame contract, if ever there was one. Loved each other deeply, but he really wanted a heterosexual Catholic Republican, and I am a gay witch liberal. So now, it was, and I was never going to get that kind of acceptance from him anyway, though he loved me very much, and God bless you, Dad. I'm sure you're back on the planet already. So that being said, yes, they usually manifest, or let's say the harder ones manifest as intimate, romantic, sexual relationships, but not all of them are, obviously. So you're going to have to determine with this reading not just who you are. We're going to be looking at divine feminine and divine masculine as a way of looking at two parties in a contract, nothing to do with bodily gender. So figuring out who you are, figuring out who the other person is, and then you'll know the context of the relationship, whether it's romantic or a family member or a boss or a coworker or what have you. All right. Last thing, please remember to breathe. That's how you're going to be able to tell who's who and what's what in any reading. Focusing on the breath, being in the present moment, finding the still point, ringing the silent bell of the heart, tuning to the divine that lives within the still point, that will be your soul telling you, yep, this is us, no, that's not us, yeah, that, no. You'll be able to sense it more here than the mind trying to interpret, right? Cool. Let's get down to business, shall we? Take a couple of nice deep breaths. Let's do this. All the decks that I'm reading are in the description box below. I'll call them out as I go. We're going to start with 3, count them 3. Caroline Mace archetype cards for this twin flame contract. Here we go. Still point. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved. Please, 3 cards. 1 for the divine masculine, 1 for the divine feminine. Oh, sorry, let's reverse that. 1 for the divine feminine, ladies first. 1 for the divine masculine, and 1 for the overall soul contract for this Aries collective, Sun, Moon, rising, Venus sign, twin flame contract for February and March 2020. Please, my collective ones for the Divine Feminine. They put that right in my hand. One for the Divine Masculine, this one, yep, and one for the contract, the two of them together, the overall contract itself, like a third person in the relationship, but not a third person, the contract itself. So what we're going to do is these three are going to be sort of the dominant energies, defining one person, party number one, party number two, and then the overall contract itself. And then we are going to build across it horizontally, and I'll put up a picture at the end, right? So, who's our Divine Feminine here? The Divine Feminine Thief archetype. No, don't freak out. It's not immediately what you think. Archetypes are very rarely only defined by their most obvious interpretation. In fact, the more you go in on it, right? Because you think of a thief as someone who steals money and property. But then there are attention thieves, right? And love thieves. And, you know, idea theft. I mean, now intellectual properties are more expensive than money, you know what I mean? In that sense, like someone gets a genius idea or a formula, you know, corporate espionage, that kind of stuff. So let me read the archetype of all of these once we get going. I want to see who we're really dealing with here, because there's more info on the cards. If you're not new to the channel, you know this. Okay, well then we've got the Divine Masculine Companion. So a little bit of Bonnie and Clyde here. Remember, this is not about bodily gender, X chromosomes. This is about yin and yang, right? Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine, active, receptive, solar, lunar, however you want to slice that up for yourself. So a Divine Feminine Thief with a Divine Masculine companion seems interesting combo. So what's the overall contract itself? An exorcist contract. So a lot about expelling destructive forces and negativity going on here. So I can see these two are really going to help each other learn how to rid themselves of some baggage and some excess stress in their lives, even if they're causing it for each other. Or at least triggering it. So let's look at this Divine Feminine Thief archetype. I'm going to read the shadow first, which is the toxicity, the toxic stuff you don't want anybody to see, right? Keep it in the shadow. The light is what you are shooting for, learning how to heal yourself. If you're the Divine Feminine, you'll catch on, right? So the shadow attribute of this Divine Feminine Thief: stealing money, creative ideas, affection, or other powers you think you lack. And that last phrase has everything in it that you think you lack, that you actually don't. We are the universe incarnate in bodies, right? Everything you need is within you. That's not just cliche, that's actually a quantum reality. But to find it within yourself means often having to go through the layers of pain and unfinished business and unfelt emotions in order to access that within ourselves. To give ourselves the love that we need reveals our own inner wealth, which is indicative in the light attribute at the top of the card. Sheds light on the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. So what a wonderful lesson to learn, my thief, if you're the Divine Feminine watching this, is really that there's a love inside of you that only you can give yourself, that can never be taken. And this companion archetype, Divine Masculine, remember, not about gender, really can't give you that. But they may be able to give you support. They may, a lot of companions in the shadow end up being what are called yes men. Yes, oh sure, yeah, like toadies to a bully. So as we look at this, get that there's a level of love and respect there, my Divine Feminine, that this one just can't give you. And if you're the Divine Masculine Companion, let's have a look at this. The shadow attribute, these are just like written yellow pastels on white background. Betrayal by misusing confidences, right? Loss of personal identity, exactly that. It's like, I don't know who I am without you. So a companion, I mean, I don't want to bring it down to the Lone Ranger and Tonto, because, you know, Native Americans have had it rough enough to kind of bring that up. Who am I without the Lone Ranger? You're a Native American warrior, dude. I love Native American men. Sorry, I do. Beautiful, all of them. But to kind of get that companion, like very codependent, right? There's a very codependent thing. Now, the interesting thing, the thief is a member, I should say, of the wild family archetype, but the companion is a member of the healing family of archetypes, which you'll hear now in the light attribute. Loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness, right? So in that light, this divine masculine, particularly as a divine masculine, may feel very much like a provider in that sense, right? So for a thief to take from one who has loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness in the light, not so great. But if they're both in the shadow here, which twin flame contracts are really supposed to bring out your shadow so that you can embrace, love, and heal what needs to be healed within yourself, then we're really off to a running start here, because the contract itself has to do with the exorcist. Now, the exorcist, I wish there was a shaman card in this deck. There isn't, because this is part of the divine family. Because a lot of the vibe that I get on this card from my clients, when you say exorcist, they might, like, you know, pea soup, if you know what I mean. Let's not go there. But if you think of the shaman as one who travels between the worlds, embraces shadow, helps people remove that which needs to be removed in terms of negativity and disease through confronting, you know what I'm saying, the whole shamanic path. So the shadow attribute, fear of facing your own demons, right? So, you know, if you're the divine feminine, you're already sick to your stomach at the idea of being a thief, well, is that a demon inside of you that you do not want to confront? And if you're cross-watching, or you're the divine masculine companion here, to really get, it's like you might not see it as theft, but is it kicking you in the gut, right? Are you afraid of facing your own inner demons, in this case, perhaps of codependence? Where the light attribute, Mercury is still retrograde, freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. So this is a huge opportunity for the thief to really embrace the wealth they already have, the companion to, yes, be loyal unto themselves, tenacious unto themselves, and unselfish in terms of their taking care of themselves and other people, right? To be unselfish with yourself is, you know, self-care. I'm going to support myself. I'm going to companion my own heart, right? Do my own healing rather than project everything onto the other in the companion. So those are our three archetypal energies in play. I think you're like, what we're going to do with this. When I first started doing the readings on this channel under a year ago, and I would do these relationship reads, again, I would do them like 3 lines, and then the guides got fancy with them. They told me to revisit this one with a twist, because we're going to build across horizontally. You'll like it. So we're going to ask the angels. 3 Healing with the Angels Oracle by Doreen Virtue. We're going to get them all 3 at the same time and look at them. And this will represent the healing that is available to the divine feminine individually, to the divine masculine individually, and to the relationship, the healing angels. It's healing with the angels oracle. So what is the healing with the angels going on? Nice deep breath. Oh, that was nice. Oh, my angels, give me a little head rush on that one. Okay, please, my angels, 3 cards, 1 for the divine feminine, 1 for the divine masculine, 1 for the soulmate, the twin flame. I'll get used to that, it's only the first 3. The twin flame contract for this Aries collective sun, moon, rising, Mercury sign twin flame contract for February and March 2020, please. My angels, 1 for the divine feminine, face down, 1 for the divine masculine, face down, and 1 for the overall Aries collective contract, February and March. So remember, we've got the divine feminine thief, and the angel that walks with her is celebration. So it really might be time to wrap some stuff up, right? Celebrations are usually done at the endings of things. Now, you could say, well, the birth of the baby, but that's also sort of the end of the pregnancy is the birth of the baby in that case, right? So usually it's about when something has arrived or have been accomplished, right? Certainly a rite of passage, but here we've got the full moon in this angel card, so it's really saying something has come full term, not of the entire moon cycle, but in its fullness. When the moon rides at her peak, then ye heart's desire seek. Thank you, Doreen Valiente. Nothing like a rhyming couplet to keep you in line, which is Wiccan Read poetic version. So there is something worth celebrating here. The angels are saying, look, celebrate what you have, divine feminine, that your loving heart, that yes, may have been under attack before and may be hidden away, but never truly lost, right? Can't be taken from you, though can be obscured. So For this divine masculine companion, who do we got here? Well, the angel of balance. So again, finding that balance, that mental, emotional balance. Am I pouring out my cup in this relationship with nothing left over for myself at the end of the day, so I run dry? Am I giving my love, my attention, and is it being freely stolen, or is it being freely taken because it's being freely given? So there could be a little push and pull on that, of not necessarily knowing when to say no. And that really is that shadow self, the loss of identity, because the relationship, it's like, I remember the first one they did, it was Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez, they called it Benifer, right? And okay, so now they're no longer two entities, they're one entity, and we've kept doing that. I mean, it's funny and it's cute. It's just incredibly toxic. Really, we don't like this very much, do we? Right? It's like, where's your autonomy, your individual souls? Yes, we're all one. We are all manifestations of the one light, the quantum field, the divine singularity in infinite forms. But you're supposed to have your own unique path, individual experiences, preferences, etc. And nothing will teach you that quite like a twin flame. So we're looking at this exorcist contract with listening. The angel of listening is really saying that you two really need to pay attention to what each other are saying here to kind of get, like, I mean, if there's any passive aggression going on, right? I don't want to go into it, but I'm getting a whiff of that here. Really read between the lines. Don't assume, but feel the energy out here intuitively. Listen to your gut as well as listen to each other. If something feels off, something's off. If so, the mind is going to rush ahead and tell you what's off, but really breathe into this. Let your intuition guide you. Say a prayer, right? Divine masculine companion, get yourself into balance. Divine feminine thief, what is it that you're celebrating? All along, understand that that if a lot of the exorcism can be done by listening to and giving a voice to whatever is rising up inside of you, but not letting it control everything, right? Giving it a voice doesn't mean it possesses you. It's on its way out, like Gestalt therapy, right? Like any therapy, like the talking cure, as they call it, or even the rite of confession to get something off your chest. Not so much that others need to hear it, but perhaps it is the voice of the child of your heart, your inner child, or otherwise it just needs to be heard, loved, and that's giving yourself the love. Even when you're in a conversation, political conversations in particular, you can really love somebody just by listening while completely disagreeing, right? Honoring them, right? And just listen. It's like, no, I'm here to listen. And there's no guarantee in this listening that I'm going to come around to seeing things your way, but I'm going to sit here and keep my yap shut and listen. That's a discipline. That ain't easy. All right. So the next thing we're going to do, these should be helpful. We're going to get a couple of tarot cards. One from the Daughters of the Moon to represent the Divine Feminine. One from the Mythic Tarot to represent the Divine Masculine, but different than I've ever done it before. So I'm excited to see, interested to see how this works. What we're going to do is we're going to pull two, not three, two of the Daughters of the Moon, one for the Divine Feminine and one for the overall contract. For the Divine Masculine, we're going to pull two, one for the Divine Masculine and one for the overall contract. See, it's going to be fun. All right, nice deep breath. Tuning to the Divine Feminine, the goddesses. Still point. My goddesses, please. Two cards. First, for the Divine Feminine in this Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising. Twin Flame contract. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign Twin Flame contract for February and March 2020. Please, my goddesses, one for the Divine Feminine face down, and please, one for the overall Twin Flame contract for this Aries collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, February to March. Now, rather than flip those over right away, let's get the other two on the table, so this way this whole vertical line is complete right in front of me. Nice deep breath. Switching to the Divine Masculine, my gods, still point. Ooh, gods of fire. Great gods of fire. Please, my gods, one card in clarity for this divine masculine in this Aries collective sun, moon, rising Venus sign twin flame contract for February, March 2020, and one for the overall contract itself, my gods, for this Aries collective sun, moon, rising Venus sign twin flame contract, February, March 2020. The divine feminine, what's the voice of the goddess here? Sorrow. All right, so celebration and sorrow. Now, is it always sorrow in terms of tears and crying? Really, it's the Four of Cups, right? One cup remains standing behind her, three spilled before her, with the ebb and flow of the ocean, the lake, whatever body of water that she's in. Obviously, I should say near, not in. But that thing of emotions waxing and waning and moving. So this to me is about emotional release. Like, do you ever celebrate? Well, it's a weird correlate to make, but like, you know, working towards 1,000 subscribers for this YouTube channel, I got a little choked up. Some tears came in my eye, and there was nobody here, so I sort of like, I took some deep breaths and felt all of it, right? That thing of emotion moving through us, we don't have to name the emotion. We just need to breathe, right? Breathe through it. Let it have its voice, and I think that keys into that card of listening there. So, you know, definitely an emotional time, but you know, the freedom to feel what you're feeling can never be taken from you. Yes, other people may not like that you're having an emotion if you're the divine feminine here, and maybe you need to steal away, right? Using thief, steal a little time, steal a little space for yourself if your living situation, what have you, doesn't give you that kind of privacy. But know that if an emotion rises within us, simultaneously, it's safe to feel it or it wouldn't be rising. Also, it might not, since you're the divine feminine, might not be all you. You might be picking up on the sorrow of this divine masculine at a distance or nearby, or perhaps divine feminine in the sense that you're an empath and feeling other people's stuff. But of course, there's stuff going on in this relationship that's triggering you emotionally. Don't blame the divine companion. It's part of the exorcism. If you're feeling it, you're healing it. The emotion itself is part of the healing. It doesn't need to be healed. It's like, I have to heal this emotion. No, you need to breathe through and allow this emotion. It's like the infection being pushed out, like through a head cold, or if you like, Papa Zit. Pick your gross metaphor for detox, right? Emotional exorcism, that's what I call emotional detox, the healing work. But the emotions are not the problem. They are the healing itself in process, right? So what's going on with this divine masculine? Okay, Nine of Pentacles, interesting. God bless the divine masculine that has his own. Nine of Pentacles really is that self-sustaining, self-assured, particularly in the physical world, strong, stable, and with this card here, balanced. So if this is, I mean, with the Thief and the Nine of Pentacles, this can be a literal theft of money. Divine masculine, keep an eye on your bank accounts, right? You know, check them daily. Just check. You know, it's better. What is it? Stitch in time saves 9, right? Better to just kind of make sure things are in place. Keep an eye on your finances, or at least your material possessions, because with the Thief and this card, I mean, the gods are saying you've got your own. You're good on your own. You are self-sustaining, self-supportive, got your own physical earth pentacles, something going on. And if it's not literal in terms of money that way, then it might be about your own physical stability and balance in your life. And you know, it's one thing to comfort someone who might be going through emotional release. It's another to give away the farm, right? So maybe there's learning some balance in boundaries, with boundaries here. What's going on now? This will show, in a sense, both of them. For the Divine Feminine, we've got the Sagittarius card. Now, right away, that may indicate that that's a Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, whoever, whatever, Venus, Mercury, Mars, Uranus, whatever. But less important than that is the idea of mutable fire, 9th house energy ruled by Jupiter, expansion, travel, either literal or traveling in consciousness, expanding the mind, spirituality, metaphysics, planet Jupiter, anything that like Zeus, that lightning truth that comes in and changes everything. So if that's the Divine Feminine energy here for the overall contract, because by the way, we all have masculine, feminine energy. So this is in the relationship, the contract, as almost like a third party within the relationship. But it's balanced there with judgment. So I got to tell you, something's going to be revealed very, very quickly. Woo, bigger picture. Woo, bigger picture. Oh, that's what's going on. Revelation. I mean, the judgment card, yes, a final judgment can be made, but usually as the result of a major arcana level revelation, which can be very, very challenging. And like I said, with that Zeusy lightning bolt, with that Jupiterian, bam, mutable fire, like lightning, changes everything. You can't be unstruck by lightning. So I don't know how much longer this one's got, my darlings. I mean, unless it's such a bolt of truth that, because light is truth, so truthening is lightning. Like lightning is being hit by truth, particularly with that card of judgment on there. So to keep that in mind, to also listen, both of you, whoever you are, to listen to your own expansive, follow your hunt for truth. Now, does that mean scoping and probing and doing Google searches? Maybe, but it does feel like with that card of judgment, this is a major arcana thing, the divine is involved. It could be revealed through your spirituality, through your spiritual path, what you need to be listening to, because your prayers are being heard. That's the other meaning of the card of listening, is that your angels are hearing you, your guides, your masters, your gods. So continue to ask for help. Say, show me how to do this. Help me so that I can see how to navigate this relationship. Am I literally being stolen from? Symbolically being stolen from if I'm the companion? Is there some lack inside of myself if I'm the Divine Feminine thief here that I'm not addressing, and I'm actually robbing people of their time, their energy, their emotional juice? These are the relationships. Relationships are like rock tumblers. I haven't seen a rock tumbler in forever. But, you know, you put in the jagged rocks and then they, for hours, for days, they go around, you put some grit in there and they come out perfectly polished. Well, that's what our relationships are. Chipping away the excess marble like the statue of the David. There he is. Right? When they asked Angelo how he created the David, he said, I didn't create the David, God did. I just removed the excess marble. Twin flame contracts. Really, those are the ones that are the most abrasive in that sense, particularly if it's apparent. All right, well, we are off to the races. We've got 3 more decks to look at. We're going to ask the Ascended Masters with 2 decks. This will be the first. The second will be the last, because we've got another pantheon we're going to work in here. The Chuck Spezzano Love Pack. 4 suits, the Problem, which is half of the deck. The suit of Luck, the suit of Grace, and the suit of Healing are the other 3, making up the other half. So let's see what the Ascended Masters have to say about y'all. Nice deep breath. Find that still point. My Ascended Masters of Twin Flame Contrasts. Yes, they specialize. Please, my Ascended Masters of Twin Flame Contracts. 3 cards, 1 for the Divine Feminine, 1 for the Divine Masculine, and 1 for this contract overall in this Aries collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Twin Flame Contract for February and March 2020, please. 1 for the Divine Feminine, face down. Please, 1 for the Divine Masculine, face down. And 1 for the overall contract itself, face down. Oh, my kitty cat, kitty cats, because it's so warm in February, I think my cats are shedding early. Nightmare. So divine feminine, never enough. Well, that will certainly lead someone into the thief archetype, or the thief archetype will manifest that there's never enough. Now, let's be clear. You might be experiencing that in your finances, in your energy levels, in your time management, right? It's just never enough. It doesn't matter. It's never enough. So this does not have to be literal theft of money. This can be, it's never enough. Can you please help me? Can you please help me? Can you please help me? Now, remember the light attribute. Huge opportunity here for you to discover that which cannot be stolen from you, right? Because the things that you're stealing, you only believe you lack. You don't really lack them. Now, from the five senses I could get, it may not appear that way at all. And you can hate this information outright. I get it. No one wants to think of themselves as a thief. But if you think of never enough, let that be, well, it's a problem card. So the problem is a thought pattern, a belief system, a repetitive song playing about, well, it's never enough, never, never enough. Why is all that we have? That's an Olivia Newton-John song from the fucking 70s, I think. Whoa, that I have that kind of Hermes playing songs in my head. Oh, blessed be Olivia Newton-John. Because we better shape up. Never enough. There's never enough. So really tune to that, divine feminine. Is that something you were raised with? Like, that's not something... Look, you don't have to beat yourself up for this stuff. You just kind of get, oh yeah, everybody's got that on some level. Because if it's never enough money, then it's never enough affection, or it's never enough sex, or it's never enough time, or it's never enough, never enough, never enough. It's really what has driven our economy to such insane levels where people are working 100 hours a week and still not able to pay the bills. Just saying. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox now. Well, what's going on with the Divine Masculine? Divine Masculine also has a problem card, and it is the card of loss. Now, look, I'm going to say with this Thief card here, there can be... there's obviously a loss here. The companion is being stolen from by this Divine Feminine Thief, but maybe not necessarily in the ways that you think of it happening, as we've sort of said, particularly with this card of emotional release here, of sorrow, of perhaps of grief, that perhaps you have both experienced loss, but it can be that this is happening for the Divine Masculine companion in order to confront the ego wound of loss, right? There are 4 ego wounds. Abuse, neglect, codependence, and loss. Now, maybe you were abused, maybe you weren't. Maybe you were neglected, maybe you weren't. Maybe you were codependent, maybe you weren't. But everybody experiences loss at some point in their life, right? Of a position, of station, of material goods, a loss of a loved one through divorce, death, or distance. So we're never taught how to grieve. We're never really taught how to deal with loss, except suck it up and take revenge, maybe. Get justice at all costs. Well, what about the emotional portion of that? That's a missing piece there. So this can totally be about this Divine Masculine companion learning how to heal around the emotion of loss, because there can be self-recrimination. Why did I trust them? Believe me, I've been through this one myself. That's some tricky shit. But to love that voice that rises, to bring yourself into emotional mental balance, is all part of the divine plan to make you who you came in to be in this life. No one said you had to like it, though. No, you can outwardly just fucking hate it and even inwardly grieve every moment of it, but love the child of your heart anyway, particularly if you are the Divine Masculine and the Aries. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, the child, right? So the child, inner child work, because we all have to experience loss to experience gain. Just how it goes. Overall relationship here, oh good, a luck card, good timing. Got the card of good timing, meaning that this is probably a divine timing thing going on here to prepare you both for something bigger and better. That it's better you go through this now than on a higher level. All right, they're going to let me say this, okay. I'm going to be 52 years old this year. In September, I am a Virgo. So I lived through the 80s. I'm Generation X, pretty deep, born 1968. So I did some coke in the 80s, right? But I was like I was still a teenager. Yeah, no, I had left it in the 80s. So figuring I was born 68, 78, 88, pretty much 88, 8 or 89. By 90, I was done with it. Thank God I got it out of the way then, right? It was a very expensive habit. But once I healed from that, I mean, aside from cigarettes and coffee, and I don't even smoke cigarettes anymore, I still love my coffee, I worked through my addiction issues earlier on. So when, you know, meth and heroin, and, well, I mean, heroin's always been around, but opioids, it was just like, meh, been there, done that, right? Have the burnt nostril hair. So good timing. It feels like this is a lucky thing from the soul's perspective, not the personalities or the ego's perspective, that this expansive revelation that comes pretty quickly, it's all in good timing. Okay, good timing. Very, very lucky stroke here, or at least will appear that way. Let's keep going. We've only got 4 more cards left. And 3 of them are going to be the voices of the higher selves of all involved. And I really do mean all involved. 1 for the divine feminine, 1 for the divine masculine, and 1 that both of these higher selves, or both of you, are going to pick that 3rd card. Nice deep breath, maybe a couple. Still point. Got it. Higher selves of all involved, please, please, please. 3 cards, 1 for the divine feminine, 1 for the divine masculine, 1 for the overall contract for this Aries collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign. Twin flame contract, February to March 2020. Here's the divine feminine. Please give me the divine masculine. And please give me for the overall contract, both of them together. It's almost like a me plus them equals us spread, but a little more complex. So, divine feminine thief with celebration, sorrow, and never enough. You've got listen with your heart. You are listening to what is being said to you, but you need to listen with a loving heart. So let's look at that, right? So you've got the thief archetype, right? Trying to find that which cannot be stolen within yourself, that really is there to be celebrated, but there's got to be some emotional release in order to uncover that, like the rain has to pour so that the sun and the moon can be revealed behind the clouds, to really reveal that thing of never enough. And it's probably gonna be like, you know, it's never enough, it doesn't matter how much I do, it doesn't matter, it's gonna come out. But then that very well may be triggered by listen with your heart. And remember, what's the overall angelic message here for healing is listening. So not just to what is rising within you has been indicated in these cards, but also that you listen to what this divine masculine can. It's like I said, great way to be loving. You don't have to agree. You can say, I didn't steal shit from you physically. I'm not trying to steal from you. I didn't even realize I was doing it. But I'm going to give you the respect. See, instead of taking, giving, I'm going to give you the love and respect by listening to you with an open heart. Don't have to agree with it. And I certainly don't have to take on anybody's projection of me and become that to make you feel better. That's codependent as fuck. But no, I will listen with an open heart. That's pretty cool. And that's pretty clear. That's a really, really, really good card to get there, considering conversations have to happen here. Because truth is going to come out. Truth is going to be revealed. I mean, come on. Sagittarius with the Judgment card? Absolutely, truth is going to come out. Better it come out in a respectful, loving conversation. What's for the divine masculine? Shit. The heart of the matter. There's more going on than meets the eye. Recognize what this is all about. So this companion, right, might very well be finding their balance or checking their balance, because it seems like they've got their own. They've got their own resources physically, but they may be experiencing a loss. I don't know. This is looking more and more and more like someone's literally getting stolen from, but they have to get to the heart of the matter. Why are you stealing from me? Right? This, wow, with Aries energy, please deal with this diplomatically, because if it's not physical, literal theft, Oh, kind of feels like it might be, though, for a good chunk of the collective, right? If it's just stealing energy, just that codependent vampirism, that happens. We learn and grow through that. But to get to the heart of the matter, there's more going on than meets the eye. Recognize what this is all about, and it feels like that's going to come through a conversation of really listening to each other. Perhaps even pass the words into the pain that the person is in that caused either party to do what they've done, so that you can really see the soul beyond them, someone who's really doing their best. And that's compassion. Everybody's doing the best that they can with their level of consciousness and the pain that they haven't dealt with. But with that exorcism, it's got to come up and out. It's like throwing up toxins, better out than in. I mean, I once did this dietary detox called Arise and Shine. I don't even know if the company exists. It was bentonite shakes and herbal formulas, and you know, parasites came out. Yeah, I pooped out worms, freaked me the fuck out for the first couple of days, but after a while you're like, better out than in. It becomes what? A celebration of release. What's the whisper of love? The voice of both of their higher selves on this one? Actions speak loudly. Express your love through your actions. Look, twin flame contracts, you can't give each other the love you want, but you can give each other the love you need. And maybe that's tough love, maybe that's honesty, but honesty, truth, spoken and heard with a loving, open heart. Lots of I'm sorries, lots of I understand, let's set new boundaries. Because here's the thing about twin flames. What if they're family, right? In the romantic sexual context, you can lose my number, right? Block them if you so choose. I mean, it's how long you want to stay in the oven in a twin flame sometimes. But when it's a family member, it's perpetual, right? I mean, unless you disown them or walk away, which is, of course, anybody's prerogative. Where toxicity and abuse, right, you know, neglect and abuse, codependence, all that stuff is going on. Because when you do walk away from a situation like that, not only is it loving for yourself, but it's loving for the other, because then you're one less person they're going to hurt. So you're one less person they have to kind of recriminate themselves on. There's a lot connected to these twin flames. And soulmates are lovely, but the soulmates are the ones that help you heal from the twin flamers. So how about, since this is all about healing, right? How about we get you, yay, my favorite new divination system, the healing mantra deck. And we've got Matt KAHN. Love these. Just one. Wait, you think I'm going to get you 3 of these? Your heads will explode. And Aries is ruled by the head, and I don't want that on my conscience. We're going to get you 1, so whether you're the divine feminine thief or the divine masculine companion, this is going to help with the exorcism, all right? Here we go. Nice deep breath. The Ascended Masters, please. Oh, still point. My masters, that was so nice. I feel your love and compassion for this collective. Please, what is the perfect hate? What is the perfect healing mantra for them? My Ascended Masters of twin flame contracts. My God, I can see the brilliance of these souls before coming down, saying, yes, of course I'll help you with that. Oh my God, and I'll steal from you. And I can totally feel the love, that third, right? You've got the personality, all the pain, and then the soul kind of saying, yeah, no, this is going to help you heal. I mean, I'm going to learn. Thank you. I can feel that. So please, what is the healing mantra that they can chant, that they can think, that they can individually help themselves heal, right? Learn how to heal themselves with this healing mantra, the perfect mantra for them in this, it's a lot, man, in this twin flame contract, Aries collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, February, March 2020. Processing grief. One side of the card is the name of the mantra, so I can look it up. The other side, the mantra itself. My losses prove how deeply I loved. My losses prove how deeply I loved. And I just heard there's a good chunk of this collective that these two have already parted ways, sort of cleaning up afterwards. My losses prove how deeply I love. Processing grief. There's I mean, literally, there's loss on the table here, the divine masculine. There's that card of sorrow. The Four of Cups, the divine feminine. Let me get you what's written here in Ye Old Bookie Book, which I love so much. Really, Hay House and Matt KAHN could have done like a hardcover deeper extrapolation and exploration of these cards. They're really good. Well, I'm preferential to mantras. I just finished the Deepak Chopra, Oprah Winfrey 21-day meditation. I love Sanskrit. I just do. I don't remember ever speaking it in another language. I think it's been a dead language since I started incarnating, but we will see. Hey, where are you? LMNOP, processing grief. Here we go. My losses prove how deeply I loved. When grief is processed, you are able to notice the maturity you gained, even when losing the people, places, and things that once defined your sense of self. As you process grief, you are able to celebrate how deeply you committed to love instead of holding a grudge towards those who left or couldn't love you back. See, that's twin flame. They love you, but on a soul level, like not the way that you want them to. But the way you need them to, which is often a pain in the ass. Once grief is fully processed, it can ignite a deeper commitment to love. You know that your alignment with Source is not a matter of what comes or goes. It is determined by how much of yourself you are willing to share. And I think that's for both the divine feminine and the divine masculine. The thief, that sharing of that which may have not been fully embraced yet, that which cannot be stolen. And for this divine masculine companion, with that loss, getting to the heart of the matter might take him a while before he's ready or willing to share. This mantra is ideal for opening back up to love, rebuilding trust, and addressing heartache. I don't know. This has got this reading written all over it, if you ask me. So let's do a quickie overview. Magic clap. So we've got the thief archetype, divine feminine, celebration, something coming to a completion here, but with that emotional release, that celebration might be bittersweet because of that problem of never enough, right? That really does stimulate and motivate that thief to, or maybe because it's never enough, they keep giving, that they feel justified in the taking. But in what's going on here in this contract, there really needs to be a listening with and to your heart. To the heart, that voice of sorrow, right? That Four of Cups, that emotional release, divine feminine. You gotta process that grief because that's most likely what's causing this thief. And I don't get the feeling that it is completely physical, or nor is it intentional. It's just sort of like a starvation, right? That the grieving has never really been dealt with. The sorrow has never really been dealt with, leaving sort of this pit, this empty pit inside which it's never enough. Obviously can lead to addiction. So to listen to that within the self, listen to that inner child, let her, saying her because the divine feminine, cry, really looking at the heart chakra as the inner child and letting it have its voice. Again, listening being a huge part of this twin flame contract, essentially with your heart. You are listening to what is being said, but you need to listen with a loving heart, divine feminine thief. Divine masculine companion here, right? We've got the balance, trying to find the balance, perhaps of giving and receiving, of giving too much. Where are my boundaries with that? Because Nine of Pentacles, he's got his own, not at the 10, really wants that extra pentacle to go from the Nine of Pentacles to the 10 of Pentacles, which is often someone to share it with. But there's something perhaps out of balance here, that there is some loss going on. This feels like this is a pattern for him, where maybe he gives too much and then is sort of shocked at the amount of loss when it isn't reciprocated, and really needs to get to the heart of the matter. Whether this is about a bank balance, right? Keep an eye on your bank balances. Look at their losses there. If this is literal physical theft going on here. But get to the heart of the matter as well. Not, why do I keep attracting this? But what is the lesson that I am learning from this? How has this situation benefited my spiritual growth and development? Now, you can ask the question and not hear an answer for a while. If you ask it when you're upset, give it some time, because with this overall exorcist archetype in this contract, right? A fear of facing your own demons, which both of you may have. Well, who doesn't? The light attribute, freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses, really comes from listening, that angel of listening, knowing that your prayers are being heard, but that you need to listen to your own intuition, listen to your own inner children, listen to each other, again with a loving heart, because it looks like with that Sagittarius crone of flames, Cerwydwen, a goddess of the cauldron, a goddess of transformation, that mutable fire, with judgment, that things are going to change pretty quickly here, and with that judgment card, something is going to be revealed, not just pieces of the puzzle hitting the table, but more that thing of, oh my god, this is what this was all along. Oh, that's the lesson. Oh, that's what I'm here to learn in this contract, is probably the healthier way to do it, right? See it through the eyes of the soul, how this is benefiting both of you, and that it was something that couldn't have played itself out any other way, with that card of good timing, that it's really good that you're doing this now, whoever, wherever, whenever you are. And remember, your actions speak loudly. Express your love through your action, even if that is love for self, saying, I can't do this anymore, I wish you well, you pay me back if you can, when you can, otherwise let's make this a clean break, but we need to take action here. There you go, my Aries collective, Sun, Moon, Rising. Now, this may not be your reading, right? That's why I say early on. Check early on, right? Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But this feels like a twin flame contract that is about to burn itself out. It does usually take a while recovering after those to see that you are no longer the cookie dough, you are the cookie, and you had to endure the pain and the flames of transformation in the oven. But now, you know, you get the ability eventually to cool off, right? You cool off after a twin flame, you cool off after trauma or theft or anger or whatever this Sagittarian boom is, and then you realize, oh look, I'm crispy, crunchy on the outside, yummy, delicious on the inside, and my chips are so chocolatey, right? So the transformation that comes from this, you might not see this as something, a good thing that happened, but from your soul, it knows it now. So remember to process that grief. My losses prove how deeply I loved. I had this during letting go of a twin flame of a man I loved, a romantic sexual one, loved very, very, very much. Still to this day, I cry about him at least once a day, right? When I think about him, I well up. But that's okay, because grief is love that doesn't know where to put itself. So love that grief. It will express itself. And it doesn't break your heart. It heals you. Heals the heart. Cool, cool. Well, there you have it. By the way, nothing here is screaming necessarily romantic sexual. There are plenty of cards that could say that. So this could be a family member, this could be a friend, this could be a fair weather friend. But regardless, it is a twin flame contract. Learn how to heal yourself, learn how to love yourself, learn how to respect, accept, approve, all of that for yourself. And may this Aries collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for February, March 2020 be blessed with all of it needs, that they may heal, that they may grow, that they may become the best that they can be, transform themselves, love themselves, and fulfill their roles in the divine plan for the well-being of all. And so it is. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed in this contract, my Aries collective. But for now, take a deep breath. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.